Stuff's about to get real here on Monday Night Raw. I got to tell you, man. You know, Bully, you said it when it came to the slap. Heard around the world. That's right. Exactly, Mark. I was thinking the exact same thing. We need to see a different Cody, Mark, tonight on Monday Night Raw.
Yes, we do. And I think that we're going to get it because everybody knows. Every fan, even if you're not a fan of wrestling, you talk about somebody's mom, you got to expect, you're trying to draw them into a fight, basically.
Yeah.
You're trying. Every time I've ever seen, y'all played the dozens, right? Jones, whatever you want to call it. You start talking about each other. Yo, mama's so fat that she tried to hula hoop with the Saturn's rings and got stuck.
Yep.
You can only do that shit so much before somebody get fucking pissed and go, you know what, man? Say something about my mama again, man. I'm going to punch your ass.
Your mama is so fat, you need to take a train and 2 buses just to get to her good side.
Ah, that's fat.
Damn.
Your mama's so fat when she wears a red dress, everybody else out Kool-Aid.
Oh, shit.
Your mama's so fat, she don't wear a 2-2, she wears a 3-3.
I never heard that one before. Oh God.
Oh man.
Dear God.
Oh my God.
Can we do the rest of the show with Mama Fat jokes? Cancel Bischoff, cancel Hauser.
Now we got to do it. We got to keep going. So people we got to have the nation call in and give us their favorite your mama joke.
Your mama's so fat, her blood type is ragu.
You're going to make somebody have a wreck, man. You know, people drive and listen to this damn show.
But see, this reminds me, and again, this is our sense of humor. This reminds me of grade school. But
boobies.
But you know what? But you know what though? But that's funny. Like at the end of that promo, like The Rock got serious talking about, he called out Cody's mom's, like her name. Called out her name.
He called about a name.
Yeah, I mean, think about what The Rock has said over the course of, 2 weeks. He said that Cody was a mistake, and then he's talking about beating Cody to the point where he's bleeding, making her cry, and then calling Cody's mom out by name. Again, that's next level. You start talking about somebody's mom. Like the way that Cody addressed Roman's grandfather and The Rock's grandfather, it was more about the way they were acting. They would be disappointed in the way that The Rock and Roman was acting. This got personal when it came to The Rock and Cody's mom. Go ahead, Bully.
How are you guys going to feel if Cody takes the high road?
I'm not going to be happy with it. I'm going to say I'm right now. I'm going to go on record. I'm with the fans may be more forgiving than I am. Like, you can't talk about a man, mama, man. Like, Dusty Rhodes was here in Austin and grew up on the east side and used to tell me stories about what he went through and how for years and years everybody thought he was black and all of this stuff. And I think that Dusty would appreciate Cody going in there going, oh, so we talking about mamas now? Crack. Somebody here got to roll because that's the way he would have done it. I just believe that in my heart.
And Bully, to answer your question, like I don't want to see Cody stoop to The Rock's level where he's talking about family when it comes that's not Cody. Cody's always going to take the high road when it comes to that. But Bully, like Bully and Mark, I'll address you guys. If there was somebody that was talking shit about me, constantly talking shit about me, then it got to the point where, let's just say they brought up my wife, Violetta. Like, you guys would come to me and be like, Dave, now this person's embarrassing you. Now you look weak. Now, like, you got to fire back. Now it's like there comes a point where you can't take the high road anymore.
Dave, I got to be honest with you. I don't even think one of us would need to come to you. I know that you're not a what's the word? You're not an aggressive kind of personality.
I'm not confrontational.
You're non-confrontational. You are the exact opposite of Uncle Bully. You're non-confrontational. But if anybody would ever say anything about your wife, I think you would dive at their eye sockets and try to poke them out.
Yes.
Yeah. I know it for a fact.
Me, if you say good morning to me the right way, I'm going to drop you.
You do have that way about you. But you're right, Bully. Like, if it got to everybody has their breaking point, right? We see it, like, even with bullies, when they're bullying a kid, boy, that kid's going to have his breaking point at some point where he's going to come out swinging. He's going to
McFly.
Yep, George McFly. Christmas Story, right? Where it's like the point where it's like there's a line and you cross the line. On Friday, Rock crossed the line. Rock crossed the line, and he was able to get the fans behind him because he chased the hug. So now if I'm Cody, I'm like, shit, man. Not only did he go after my mom, but he had those fans chanting his name. Like, that, to me, Rock crossed the line on Friday. I'll say this publicly, all right, because everybody's talking about what a big Cody fan I am and everything else. And, I named my new puppy, Cody. I'm a fan. I have no problem saying that I'm a fan. I love Cody Rhodes. But if he just lets this, if he just lets this wash away and he just, like, pretends like The Rock never said this and it doesn't get personal to Cody, even I, as the biggest Cody fan, will be disappointed if that happens.
So we can all agree that Cody's got to get in the mud a little bit with The Rock, right?
Yes.
Get dirty.
Yes.
Dave, I saw something on social media yesterday. Mark, I think you might remember this. I'm not positive. I know Dave definitely does, but if Mark, you remember it, please put your 2 cents in here too. I saw a video of the night superstar Billy Graham destroyed Bob Backlund's World Heavyweight Championship. Remember when Superstar actually ripped the championship apart, ripped the faceplate off? Mark, do you remember?
I don't.
No problem. It's all good. So Bob Backlund had just defeated Swede Hansen on WWF television. Superstar Billy Graham comes to the ring, takes Backlund's belt, and with his bare hands rips the belt apart, destroys the belt. Mark, if anybody would have ever destroy your belt right in front of you, what would you have done?
I cracked their forehead open like an egg.
Do you know what Bob Backlund did?
No.
He cried. He cried. He was going, why me? Why me? Why did he have to do this to me? And Dave, do you remember that vividly?
I do.
Did Backlund lose anything in your eyes when that happened?
In my eyes, he did. I never looked at Bob Backlund the same way again. I'm being completely honest, because that's not the reaction that I wanted to see from Bob Backlund. And I felt like, and Bully, tell me if I'm wrong, the popularity of Backlund changed after that night as well. All of a sudden, Backlund wasn't cool. It just wasn't cool to root and cheer for Bob Backlund. And we saw it then, when he went up against Jimmy Superfly Snuka won that crowd over. And I think it's not just one incident, but I think it's an accumulation of a lot of different things. That was the point where it was like, we should have seen Backlund have the attitude, Mark, that you just said, like, even though it's uncharacteristic from Bob Backlund, that should have been the breaking point for Bob Backlund.
I probably would have cried too. I mean, I'm emotional. I'm overly emotional.
But Mark, you probably like me. When you cry, that means somebody's about to get their head cracked open.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Mark, I'm not going to
When
mention
you
his
see
name,
the
but
tears run.
I'm not going to mention his name, but I had to hand one of the boys his asses about 10, 15 years ago, and I handed it to him real good. And you know what I started doing afterwards? I started crying because that emotion wells up in you so much that you somehow had to get. You're either going to get it out by collapsing somebody's face, which is not good because you don't want to kill anybody, or you got to get that emotion out somebody else and crying. So much like you, Mark, I cry when I fight because I become a natural born killer. Like I go to another place.
You know what? I think it's a good thing to have some remorse and some conflict. If you don't, then that means that's commonplace or comfortable for you. And I'm not comfortable being violent. I just accept that violence is necessary. And man, put that on a fucking t-shirt. Like, you, as a man, the world will walk over you if you don't stand up and pee.
Mark, what you just said is 100% true. This might be one of those moments where if we don't get the kind of response from Cody that we're looking for, where we're going to be like, you know what?
Get it again.
Yeah, well, you know what? This guy's just like, really, man? All right.
And we got to remember, guys, it's the world of sports entertainment. So hopefully the WWE is giving Cody stuff to retaliate against The Rock with. Otherwise, and this is why I made the Backlund reference, otherwise there's a chance that even in Dave's eyes, the uber Cody fan, Cody might lose something in Dave's eyes. Like if Cody doesn't respond, Dave, if Cody takes the high road, do you still want to wear your pink robe at WrestleMania and lead the Cody Crybabies into battle?
Listen, that's a great question because look how emotional, Bully, that I've been about Cody these last few weeks. The pink robe, the disheveled hair. I'm upset. I'm pissed off when I thought The Rock came in and took his spot. But man, if people keep taking from you and you let them, then there's got to be a point where you throw up your hands. And I said, you know what? I can't help this guy. This guy's just letting everything being taken from him, and he's just letting it happen.
Yeah.
This is where I agree with you, Bully. This is
put up or shut up.
It's put up or shut up time for Cody. I agree. Now he did respond with the slap. Absolutely, he responded with the slap. But The Rock, for the most part, for every jab that The Rock has taken, he's been able to come with his own jab. He's been able to retaliate. Cody needs to retaliate here because this isn't about wins and losses. This isn't about WrestleManias. This isn't about championship titles. This is about his mom. He called out his mom. He used his mom's name on TV in a disparaging way. Man, that's next level shit. This isn't about being disrespectful about who you are in the ring or you losing a match. This is coming after somebody's family and coming after somebody's mom. Cody needs to retaliate. Yeah, Cody needs to retaliate in a big way. This isn't one of those promos where he comes out with the big words and says, even bigger than the words I'm using, I'm a bigger man. I'm going to let this slide, and I'll have my answer WrestleMania weekend. No, this is a lose your shit moment. I wouldn't mind seeing Cody lose his shit tonight on Raw. Where it's uncharacteristic.
Since Rock is not on Raw tonight, correct? He's not being advertised.
No, he's not being advertised. And if he ain't getting paid, he ain't coming.
Is there anybody? Well, I understand that one, brother. Is there anybody on Raw that has a relationship or a correlation to The Rock that Cody can take it out on?
I mean, you know, it's difficult because of the character he's playing, but let's just say Jey Uso.
I was just going to say the only person is Jey Uso.
Yeah, where it's like, I'm not that guy. Well, you know what? You were that guy last year. You were that guy last year at WrestleMania 39. You were that guy.
Yeah.
Like, this is, and I would think too that Seth is going to poke the bear a little bit tonight, right? This is bear, but Seth's got to come in and be like, dude, listen. I mean, and even with Seth, The Rock was talking about Becky. Rock was talking about Becky.
I would love to, and this is just me, and I've said, listen, as much as I put Seth over for his wrestling ability, I do have my opinions on his persona and the way he speaks when it relates to this particular storyline. I would love to see Seth have his Mad Max moment. Do you guys remember in the original Mad Max, not the Road Warrior? Mad Max came before the Road Warrior, where the heels run over his wife and baby. And you see Max sitting there with this mask, this weird plastic mask. And he takes the mask and he folds it and he eventually goes into his some kind of case, and he pulls out his leathers and he puts his leathers on, and he goes and he starts up his own V8 Interceptor. This is where Max turns from good guy cop into a vigilante.
Charles Bronson, Death Wish. Like, there's a lot. I mean, that's the best one. Outstanding citizen, never breaks the law. But you do this to my family, you do this to my wife, this is where you've crossed the line, and it's the point of no return.
I need vigilante Seth now. I need, to me, I would love to see
Seth too.
I'd love to see Seth come out of, visionary, this Seth. I want to see Seth almost go back to Shield Seth for just a couple of weeks. Just me. I don't know how other people feel about that.
Bully, you own to something. I want to see Seth in some combat boots and some black pants and tape on his fist.
Yeah.
And walk around that bitch looking like, where are they? You wanted it? You want it with me? Here I am. Here I am. And then, man, I can see him reach in one of them pockets, pull out one of those extendo nightsticks and beat the shit out of them. Leave their ass land.
Within the snap of a finger, Mark, that this version of Seth will go away for a little while, and people will immediately emotionally connect back to Seth Rollins, because they're going to get the version of Seth that they loved the most.
And that is what you and I keep talking about, is the perception of what the fan wants. The fan wants the tough guy. They want you to use, Dusty said it. How do you get over? With these. Every time somebody run up, boom, bang, boom, and the crowd is just building and building. And when there's nobody else to hit, and you do this, like you just throw your hands in the air, they join you. Now it's a us. And sometimes we try to overthink it or not make it not wrestling, but make it entertainment. It's wrestling first.
Mark, what you just did, I just want to paint the picture for our audience. You just picked up both of your fists. We talked about what we could learn from Dusty, your fists. What I have taught students for the longest time, what I try to explain to wrestlers, is that when you put your fists in the air, this is where a babyface lives. This is, at the end of the day, This is all a babyface has, is his two fists. And why do your two fists work the best? Because it's something the crowd can relate to. There could be the littlest man in the audience, or the heaviest man in the audience, or the skinniest girl in the audience, or the biggest girl. Every human being can understand or relate to balling your hand up into a fist and punching somebody in the face. They can't relate to 450s and super kicks and moonsaults and acais and Canadian destroyers. No, they can react to that and go, ooh, ah, wee. But you can relate to a fist. And any great babyface relied on his fists first. Steve Austin, Dusty Rhodes, Ricky Morton. Great baby faces use their fists and their fists only. And that's what Seth needs to do. Raise up his fists. That's what Cody needs to do. Raise up his fists and get some blood of Rock and Roman on their hands.
Hey, you're not going to out-entertain The Rock. You know, The Rock can sing and he can do all that stuff. You're not going to be able to counter that. You know, and now Seth can't. You know what, Seth's got to stop doing the dance and wearing the clothes, because already The Rock has made that uncool. The Rock has called you out on that stuff. So now it's not fun anymore. It's not cool. So when you do it, it's become a joke. So every time that Seth goes out there with the crazy clothes and he's dancing around, because of what The Rock has said, he's made it a joke. So you got to stop doing it. And with Cody, man, I agree on. You know what Cody needs to do? Make Rock ugly. Make Rock not be able to be a movie star anymore. Make him ugly. Beat his ass. Make him ugly.